Okay.
Griffin Newman.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us on this couch that nobody owns.
Thank you for inviting me to this couch that you don't own.
I certainly don't own
No,
it, but now maybe you do.
Well, I might buy it. I'm going to ask around.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
You have been hugely successful in the tick as Arthur.
Sure. Thank you.
You've done a bang up job.
Thank you. I can't
on the show.
say that, but I appreciate you saying that. I don't feel. Yeah, the jury's still out. I don't know, but I appreciate your.
Sure. Well, no, I did. I gobbled down the show last night, and I was able to see where it was going. It's a remarkable show, and you've really lent yourself to it amazingly.
I left it all on the dance floor. It was not for lack of trying. I will say that.
Excellent. That's good to hear. Was it fun?
Yeah. I mean, look, I'll say this: I'm not being backhanded about anything. It was definitely like a job. I've never been the lead of a show before.
Sure.
And this is a very difficult show to be the lead.
Right.
It's a very demanding show. It's a show where you don't really have a status quo, which is what's exciting about it.
What do you mean?
Well, like, the cartoon and the Warburton show were kind of self-contained little adventures.
Okay.
It was like, here's your challenge of the week. Here's your bad guy you fight. And there's certain serialization, especially in the cartoon, that happens over the course of the season. There's certain themes running throughout. But it's kind of like a cartoon show where it resets every episode to the normal. And this show, despite the fact that we have a larger season arc, does kind of do that, where like every episode has crazy new characters and new locations and new challenges and new set pieces and new stunts. So there's no point where you're just like, I'm on episode 6, I know what I'm doing, Every week was like a new challenge in one way or another, And there's so many different technical things. I mean, it was like the Olympics, like every week, things that like you can never train for.
Sure.
And I've been acting for 9 years, mostly out of the spotlight, being paid and the check's clear, but no one ever really sees the thing.
Sure.
Really come out
a working actor, yeah.
A working actor, right. But this is, so much of the show is on my shoulders, and I have to function as kind of this, like, pivot point between all the different tones. Sometimes I'm the straight man to the crazier things happening. Sometimes I'm the funny character in a straighter world. Sometimes I'm just doing stunts for a day.
Okay.
It's not something I ever thought anyone would ask me to do professionally. So it's like really fun in that it's like a childhood dream to get to do this show. I mean, to be part of the Tick specifically, to be playing Arthur, but also just to play a superhero, to be entrusted with this kind of character, to have material that's so good. To be given a chance to be a leading man, which you dream about, but you don't know, especially if you're like a 5'6" Jew, if they're ever going to let you do that.
Sure.
So like that was fun, but every day was definitely like a lot of work.
Okay.
And I don't expect it to be to feel like a vacation. Like I do feel like if it doesn't feel challenging, then you're probably not working hard enough.
Right.
But it definitely was. It was like every day you're testing your muscles.
You're definitely benching forward somehow.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So it was a labor of love.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if it was not a labor of love, it would not have gotten done. I mean, that was the thing that was so incredible about the show, more so than anything else I've ever worked on, is like everyone, the whole cast was all like, God, I'm so exhausted, but this thing is so good.
Okay.
We were all like burnt out because the show's constantly throwing different challenges at you. Well, all of us were just like, we're so lucky to get part of this thing. It feels like we're doing something really weird and different here.
Yeah. That's really, really good to hear.
Yeah.
Because there was so much of the show that it feels, I don't want to say organic, because obviously it's not. It's very well planned, very well done. But it feels natural. It feels like it's coming from a place for everyone.
And the goal is obviously make it look like it was really fun to make. And I'm not trying to make it sound like it was painful to make, but it definitely was. It was work. It was like a job. But you want to make it feel like play, and I think you want to make it feel sort of organic and natural and behavioral. Not just in the acting and performances, but the whole way the world plays out. And I think that doesn't really work unless everyone is so tuned into the right wavelength. Just getting what the show is aiming to do, and just cares about trying to get there.
And so from a technique standpoint, you've never done like a day of stunts before.
Never.
How do you hold on to Arthur in the middle of all of that?
Yeah, it's tough. I'm sorry, I did one day of stunts before. I was on a French TV show.
as you do.
Yeah. Do you know the movie Taxi with Jimmy Fallon and Queen Latifah?
No, I'm afraid I don't.
Okay. It's a classic.
A modern classic.
Remember when Jimmy Fallon was a major movie star? That was like one of the 3 chances that they had, but that movie was an American remake of a French series that's like the French Rush Hour.
Okay.
That Luc Besson produced. That was like a buddy comedy with a cab driver and a cop. And the American remake didn't do well, which was taking the Paris set one and doing it in New York.
Okay.
And then they tried to adapt it again to a different show called Taxi Brooklyn that was a continuation of the French show, but not the American show, but was set in Brooklyn.
So were you able to take anything away from that experience into The Tick to then kind of to retain Arthur, I suppose?
Well, that show was the first time I played a crook. I had like 2 scenes, and one of the scenes was 10 hours of me being chased by a cop, and the other scene was me in the back of a cab.
Okay.
And I had never had to do that much running sustained over time, so by the end of it, you just don't even know what you're doing.
Okay.
So with this, I had a better sense of how to pace myself, but it also, that character was a lot foggier. And Arthur, I had, I got lucky that I was a fan of pre-existing versions. So I had a sense of who I thought Arthur was, and as a fan, who I felt like I would want to see Arthur be in this new show. But then also, there were a couple months when I was trying to get to the part where I was really kind of living with it and thinking about what I wanted to do with it. There were a couple months between when I got the part and when we shot the pilot, and there was a lot of time between when we shot the pilot and when we started the season.
Would you say like months?
Months and months and months.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we finished the pilot in May. We didn't start the season until March.
Sure.
And so I had a lot of time to just kind of like live with the guy and really kind of like map it out in my head, so that you just sort of have to trust that you're keyed into some basic elements. I mean, what's fun for me is trying to find like, the reason why Die Hard is the best is because in all those action sequences, he never stops being John McClane.
Sure.
It's never just Bruce Willis running down a hallway trying to hit his marks.
Yeah.
You always get a sense of who that guy is, the circumstances, how in over his head is, his humor. And you try to find those moments. But that's definitely the hard part, because I know I'm giving you a very long-winded disjointed answer. But the hard part is you're shooting in such a piecemeal way. If you're doing a dialogue scene, even though you're doing different angles and different coverage, the scene every time will kind of play out as it plays out.
Sure.
But with action, because of the technical difficulties of it, sometimes you're shooting the pieces totally out of order. Sometimes you're shooting one day on a green screen and one day in the real place, and they're a week apart, but things are supposed to happen 2 seconds after each other. Okay. And you're only doing little bits of action, and you want to try to, I can't say whether or not I did it well. I don't know. But the challenge was, and I don't know how I tried to do it. I mean, I guess the very short answer after my very long answer is you just try to stay conscious. You just try to remember who the guy you're playing is. Okay. And you try to remember how he would be feeling in those circumstances.
So it was hard, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And then every little motion you imbue with those sorts of feelings.
Right.
I guess the thing that makes Arthur a little easier to do Arthur in those action sequences is that the key to Arthur is that he shouldn't be in those sequences.
Right. So it's easy to be scared in an action sequence.
Right.
Right.
Right. And I was scared that I wasn't doing a good job as an actor, so that kind of translated one to one, where stressed out about
so less of a well of sadness, more of a well of anxiety.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, and you have the stunt choreographer and everything who's trying to prep you for the next piece, and you don't know whether you're going to do it well or not.
Sure.
That's how it feels when Arthur steps into danger.
So how... You worked with Peter Serafinowicz. That was amazing, presumably.
Yeah. Okay. I was a big fan, and he, was everything I expected him to be as a comedian and actor, but then even greater as a person than I thought. That's wonderful.
And Ben Edlund, how active was he on set, or was he more of a hands-off? Yeah.
No. Very, very active. I mean, this is his baby.
Yeah, he's had he created that from a youth.
Yeah. 17 years old.
Yeah.
And I think he viewed this as his chance to make what he felt was the definitive version of these characters, because of the experience he's had working in different TV shows, the industry, and understanding how shows get produced and how to get his message across. So now he's finally got the experience to be able to put it together. Yeah. And you are really the fulcrum of that piece. No pressure. Yeah, no pressure. But look, I mean, simultaneously, it's a lot of pressure, and it's a big relief, because it's like, if this guy thinks I'm doing a good job, then that's okay. It's not like some new guy coming in who's trying to reboot the Tick. Right, like, absolutely. I think that's fine. Absolutely. If Ben's going, that felt good, and you go like, well, I trust you above all else. Exactly. But he was like, I'd say, more than half the episodes of the season, he was on set every day. And sometimes it's very little things. He has such a strong sense of who the Tick and Arthur are as archetypes, but also as emotional characters. And go like, a little less of that and a little more of
Okay,
that.
so there were tweaks.
There are tweaks, you know, but a lot of times he just goes like...
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You know, and it's about hitting a right pitch.
Yeah.
But that was like, it's like your dad cheering you on at a soccer game. Something I never experienced because I was bad at soccer. But when you'd like nail a take and he'd be like, that was Arthur.
Nice.
You know, and
very
it
nice.
Pretty good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Griffin, it was amazing talking to you. This has been really fantastic. Thank you so much.
Cool.
I didn't get to ask my awesome question. Have you ever seen The Greatest American Hero?
Yes. Yes.
This is that in reverse.
Ben references that a lot.
Excellent. See?
He said that was like the big thing he was going for with the Arthur.
Yeah. It's that in reverse. And this morning it hit me.
And certainly the, you know, making the costume a lot more complicated in this version. And the whole idea of all these things he doesn't know how to work.
Right. Well, and the, you know, the instruction manual is right there in his face. It's just in Russian.
Romanian. Yeah, we unfold that later.
Excellent.